If I was doing this all over again, what advice would I give my younger self? Let's see. Welcome guys, thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys watching. And today, what I want to talk about is advice to younger musicians, newer musicians. I've been doing this for a long time, and maybe not as long as a lot of other people, but for me, 2 decades. I remember when I started, and I just didn't fathom the idea that I would be playing for 20 years. I remember I was playing for 2 years, and I was like, wow, that's a long time, but here we are 2 decades later, and it's been a great ride. I love music. I still love it to this day. I've played in multiple bands, different states, different cities, different countries. And right now, this is where I'm at. I spend quite some time playing, with different people. And this is what I think is crucial. And I know there's plenty of advice out there, but these are the things that I would tell my younger self that I would do over again from the beginning. So let's get started. So the first thing, and in no particular order here, I would say one that I'm very passionate about is don't leave your gear in your car. That's massive for me. I've seen countless examples of friends getting their gear stolen, cars getting broken into, and their gear getting stolen, everything, expensive guitars, amps, pedal boards, everything. So to me, it's a big deal. I never leave my gear in my car, never. I would rather take the time, suffer through it, as tired as I could be after a gig, carrying all the gear, lugging it upstairs, whatever. I never, ever leave my gear in my car. Number 2, I would say, take care of your gear. To me, it's really important to have proper working gear, professional gear. I don't mess around with that rule. I love my gear. I work hard to buy this gear, throughout the years. My gear that I still use gear that I bought 12 years ago, 10 years ago, I still have that. And so for me, it's really important to take care of it because I don't want to buy it again. I don't want to spend money that I don't have to. I'd rather spend new money on new guitars, you know what I mean? And so for me, I constantly make sure it's clean. I check it, make sure it's in working order. There's no weird ground issues or sound issues. I make an inventory of it, before gigs. I make sure that I have everything I need. When I go to shows, when I play a gig, I usually carry my amp, my guitars, and my pedal board case. And pedal board case is great because I can put everything in there. So I know that I'm gonna have my pedal board, I'm gonna have a power cable for the pedal board, for the amp. I also have my speaker cable from my head to my cabinet and my amp. And I also have my 1/4-inch cables from my guitar to my pedal board, from my pedal board to the amp. And I also have a guitar stand in there, a power strip in case there's not enough plugs for my gear. I like to carry that. So I try to stay consistent with that. I don't deviate from that. If I want to add some other things, I do, but those are my main things. I even have a little pick pouch that I keep picks in just in case for some reason I forgot to bring picks. I think that's a very important one. Make sure your gear's in order, you're ready to go, because you don't want to go to a show. I've seen it too many times. You go to a show, and it's happened to me, honestly, in the past. I forgot a power cable, I forgot a 1/4-inch cable, whatever, just because in the hecticness of moving things around and packing things, you forget. So now I don't forget. I make sure I have this. It's almost like a checklist. I have a checklist of what I have and what I need, and it's always there. Number 3, I would say something that's really important for me is studying other musicians, especially professionals or even other local bands. I think it's crucial to go out there, go to other shows, see what people are doing, what gear they're playing, how they're playing it, how they use it, what they use. Look at them, look at how they're dressed, how they move, what is the performance, learn, try to take it all in. And that way, when it's time for you, you can just take everything you're learning and make your own, make your own way based on what you see. You take a little bit from here, a little bit from there, and you make your own. It's like they say, art is just stealing. You steal ideas, but you don't exactly steal them. You just get influenced by it. You get influenced by what they're doing. That's cool. I want to try that, but mix it up with this and that, and then it becomes me, because we are all a sum of everything that influences us, right? And so I believe that's a big deal, to go to shows and study other musicians. And something that's really important that I like to think for myself, and I always suggest it, is that don't just study the instrument that you play. I'm a guitar player mainly. That's my main craft, and I don't just look at the guitar players. I go and I study the drummers, the bass players, the keyboard players, the singers. I look at everybody in the band. I want to learn what they're doing, because in doing so, that makes me a better guitar player. I know when I need to back off. I know what's coming. I know how people play, what kind of things instruments do. And so that allows me to know when it's my time as a guitar player, when it's my space as a guitar player. And so that would be a very important one for me. Since I was younger, I'd go to shows and I'd be the guy front row, not moving. While everybody is crazy, drinking, dancing, whatever, I was just staying there. I was just observing, taking it all in, learning, appreciating. How can I take some of this stuff from my craft to make it better? Another one that's a big deal for me is being professional and courteous. Show up on time, be on time to rehearsals, to shows, be kind, be courteous. There's enough crappy people out there, especially in our scenes, so we don't need to be more of that. Let's just bring more positivity, be kind to others, respect, especially the sound guys. They get a lot of shit, and because musicians, I've been guilty of it. We can be prima donnas, we can be crappy in many ways, divas, whatever you want to call us, and I'm guilty of it. I've done it myself, but I really try to be nice, especially sound guys. Help them learn their name, say something good, thank them at the end of the show. Thank you for the sound. It sounded great up here. Thank you. Take the time to build those relationships with other musicians. When you go to shows, talk to them afterwards. Say, hey man, I really enjoyed what you did there. That was great. What are you using? Ask questions, learn, give positive feedback. And I think that really builds a community. You learn, they learn, they appreciate it. It's just a good bubble of good energy everywhere. The next one I would say is put in the work. It sounds simple. And so I think this is put in the work, breaks down into many things, but I like to think that, practice by yourself, practice your skill, but not only that, practice your songs. If you're in a band, there's new songs, whatever, practice the songs, learn them on your own. And when you come to rehearsal, the songs, you're ready to go. You're not wasting anybody's time. So one of my biggest pet peeves is wasting time at rehearsal, because I want to play. And there is a time where we jam. Jamming is great, and learning new songs together is great. Writing together is great. But when there's a song that's already written and it needs to be learned, learn it on your own, do the homework. And you may not get it perfect, You can go back and talk to whoever wrote it, whoever has the chords, the changes, whatever, ask some questions, go through it, work a little bit, cool. But don't just show up with no knowledge of the song. I've seen this too many times. And my advice on that is, I usually take notes. I sit at home, I listen to the song a few times, I take notes, I write a structure down. Usually I write a structure. I don't know music theory, so I just write my notes in layman's terms. I call it, intro, verse, chorus, pre-chorus, whatever, bridge. I lay the structure down in my notes, and then I can write the chords. Okay, this is gonna be here are the chords, or I say riff like this, blah blah blah, or I can say put notes around my tone. I'll say I need clean, sparkly tone on this one, or I need a chorusy and delay on this one. So notes are great because it shows that you're prepared, you're working, and when you show up to practice, you can just pull up your notes and you're like, I don't remember everything exactly, but here's what I noted, and so let me go through it real quick. And as I'm playing, I look at it and it's like, all right, cool. And if I get something wrong, hey, let's stop real quick. What do you got there? Okay, cool. So be ready, be prepared. Next portion of putting in the work is research and understanding gear. Don't just be a musician that's I just play guitar, I play whatever. And that's cool, you can do that. There's room for many things. I just think personally, if I were to advise myself, my younger self, this is an important one. And I've always done this. I'm a nerd, and most of us are, I think. We love gear, we nerd out. And so learn what's out there, what kind of sounds, what kind of pickups, there's humbuckers, single coils, P90s, rails, whatever. Figure it out and learn things, get excited about it, and that helps you be better at your sounds. You know, your songs would be more creative because you understand how to get the sounds that you're hearing. You know, you hear a sound and you're like, well, that's a Stratocaster. I can tell because of the tone. Or with the other one, you know, I don't need anything in particular for this song. I can use a humbucker guitar or a single coil guitar. Doesn't really matter. But there's some songs that, you know, let me hear, that sounds like a chorus, sounds like a phaser, sounds like a flanger, whatever, you know, delay, sounds like this speed, you know. Learn how gear works and what gear is out there for you, because the more you learn, the better you're gonna be, the more possibilities you have to writing songs, to playing these parts, to learning about tone and whatnot. I think encompassing all of that is learn as much as you can from this thing that you're getting into, you know. Learn as much as you can, you know, like going back to like other musicians and whatnot. Learn what drummers do, what bass players do, learn what singers do, keyboard players, you know, learn the gear, learn just like, not just guitars, amplifiers, what's out there, tube, solid state, what's better for me, how many watts do I need? So many questions that you can ask yourself when you're trying to learn it and really dive into this world. It's a huge world, right? There's a lot to learn here, and it doesn't have to be complicated. I'm saying these things, but at the end of the day, you need a guitar or whatever instrument you're using, a way to amplify it, whether it's going to be through an amp or is it going to be lucky that you get to plug directly into the PA, you know. You don't have to carry an amp, you know. It doesn't matter, you know. That's as simple as it can get, you know. Plug straight into an amp and go. But, you know, if you want to have more access, more freedom, more possibilities, there's a lot to learn, you know. Pedals, amps, what cables, power supplies. There's so much to learn that it's not super necessary. It's just bonus extras, and it'll make your job easier. You'll have more fun. I think personally, that's my advice. And I think the last thing I want to say, you know, there's a lot of advice we can give to anybody. These are just my top ones, and I'm sure eventually I'll do some more. But the last thing I would say is to have fun. Having fun, to me, is the primary thing when I'm playing music. I never want to lose the fun. Sometimes I've played with bands where I'm not having fun. I'm not enjoying what I'm doing anymore, and so I exit the bands, you know. That's okay. And it's not because the band is bad or whatever. It's just like at the moment it doesn't resonate with me, you know. This is not what I want to do anymore, and so that's okay. It's having boundaries, you know, saying, hey, you know, this is just not for me anymore. I'm not really feeling it. I'm not having fun. It's becoming kind of a drag for me, and so I'm out, you know. That's okay. Have fun. Find what it is that brings you joy, you know. To me, I can play many shows, you know, and right now I'm playing with one band. And sometimes we have shows where I'm just like, you know, I didn't enjoy that show, and I love the band. Great music. I love the songs. I love playing. I love the players, the musicians, everything. Sometimes I just don't have fun on stage. And it's not because of the band or anything. Sometimes the sound might not be good enough, you know, might be muddy. There's too much noise, you know, the sound, there's no monitors. And so I didn't enjoy it because I have to get something out of it. You know, we put on a great show, but perhaps there was no monitors and I couldn't hear myself very well. And for me, that's a big deal, because if I don't hear what I'm doing, I don't hear the joyful sounds, you know. I can imagine them because I'm playing them, you know, I know them, I hear them, I know the songs, but I love listening to music. And so I want to hear what I'm playing. I want to feel the joy of those notes coming together to make a song. And so that's important for me, having fun. That's just life. There's ups and downs, you know, as long as you're having fun throughout in general. Anyways, those are like my top advice for newer musicians. Any of you guys out there that have any other advice, you know, you've been playing for a while, you have some things that I didn't mention that you have from your experiences, I would love to hear from you guys. Please let me know in the comments. Let us know, you know, because it's not just for anybody, for one person or me or whatever. We all learn from each other. You know, if you have something I don't know, please share it. I would love to learn more. What makes it, what advice you have for all of us other musicians. You know, I'm still 20 years seems like a long time. It is, but it's also, you know, not a long time compared to people that have been playing for 60 years or something like that. You know, it's relative. Everything is relative. So anyways, yeah. Let me know what you guys think out there. Any other advice, anything you think that's been useful to you in your musical career. And last thing I'll say, you know, thank you very much for watching again. It really means so much to me that you guys take the time to watch and tune in with me. And again, if you want to, if you feel like it, please give me a like. subscribe, a comment, whatever. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day.